Hi, second graders, Mrs. Joseph here. I'm here with another math lesson. Today we're working on Module 6, Lesson 20. We've been talking a lot about even numbers. We learned a whole bunch of different ways to tell if a number is even or odd. One way we learned is that we can count to even numbers by 2. Another way we learned is that even numbers are always the sum of a doubles fact number sentence. And we also learned that if it's an even number, we can pair up the objects with none left over. Today we're going to explore even numbers a little bit further. Let's take a look at our objective for today. All right, please feel free to read this with me. Our math objective is, I can tell if a sum will be even or odd by looking at the add-ins. What are add-ins? Add-ins are the two numbers that you are adding together. So we're going to be able to tell if the sum will be even or odd by looking at the add-ins, the two numbers being added together. So without further ado, let's investigate and explore. Okay, let's just get this screen on here good. That is better. Beautiful. All right, so feel free to pause if you would like right now and go make some predictions in your math journal. Otherwise, keep watching. Do you think an even number plus an even number will be even or odd? Do you think an even number plus an odd number will be even or odd? And do you think an odd number plus an odd number will be even or odd? Let's do some investigating and exploring to see. All right, let's start off with two even numbers. First, we have 2 rows of 1. 2 rows of 1. That's 2, which is an even number. Then we're going to have 2 rows of 2. That's 4 total, so that's an even number. Let's try adding those together. We have 2 plus 4. 2 plus 4 is 6. And we can tell when we added 2, which was even, and 4, which was even, we got an even number. We know 6 is an even number because everybody has a partner. There's none left alone. We can count to 6 by 2s. 2, 4, 6. Also, it's a doubles fact. There's a 3 plus 3 equals 6. So when we did our first experiment, an even number plus an even number equaled an even number. Let's try this experiment one more time. I'm gonna get my eraser. In order to prove that an even number plus an even number is always an even number, we're going to have to do more than one test. All right, so instead this time, let's do 4 plus 6. Again, we're doing an even number plus an even number. We're doing 4 plus 6. 4 is even. Everybody has a partner. 6 is even. Everybody has a partner. Let's see what happens when we add these two even numbers together. We end up getting 4 plus 6 equals 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Guess what? I can tell 10 is an even number because I just counted to it by 2s. So with our second experiment, an even number plus an even number equaled an even number again. It looks like we've seen a pattern, friends. Every time we add an even number to an even number, it will be an even number. All right, let's begin our next experiment. We now want to see what happens when we add an even number. Let's start with 2 once more. 2, an odd number. What is going to happen? All right, so I have an even number, 2. Plus an odd number, 3. We have an even plus We have an odd. Okay, so I can tell 2 is even. Everyone has a partner. I can tell 3 is odd or not even because one little guy over here does not have a partner. Let's see what happens when we put our even and odd number together. We end up getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 plus 3 is 5. And we ended up getting an odd number because there's one little guy over here who does not have a partner, right? So it looks like for our first experiment of an even plus an odd, the sum will be odd. All right, let's try this experiment once again. Before we added 2 plus 3, this time, let's try doing 4 plus 5. Okay, so we have 4, which is an even number. I can tell because everybody has a partner. Then we have 5, which is odd. I can tell because there's one guy over here who does not have a partner. Let's see what we get when we add these two numbers together. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4 plus 5 is 9. And I can tell that this is an odd number because there's one little guy without a partner. So it looks like after we've done some investigating, when we add an even number to an odd number, we will get an odd number. All right, time for our last experiment. What is going to happen when we add an odd number to an odd number? This should be interesting. All right, so we have 3 plus, let's do 5. Okay, we got 3 plus 5, my friends. We have 3 blue plus 5 green. And 3 is an odd number. I can tell because this little guy doesn't have a partner. Plus 5 is an odd number. I can tell because this little guy doesn't have a partner. So 3 plus 5, when we put them all together, kind of fill in here. Ooh, look what happens. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3 plus 5 equals 8. And when we added an odd number to an odd number, we actually ended up getting an even number. I can tell because everybody has a partner, nobody's left out. I can count to 8 by 2s, 2, 4, 6, 8. Also, it's a doubles fact. 4 plus 4 is 8. So 8 is even though the add-ins were both odd. Very interesting. So when we added an odd number to an odd number, it was even. Let's just do one more test to make sure that our theory is true. So before, we had 3 plus 5. This time, let's do 5 plus 7. So now we have 5 blue plus 7 green. 5 is an odd number because we have one little guy without a partner. And 7 is an odd number because we have one little guy without a partner. Let's see what happens when we add these two odd numbers together. We have 5 plus 7. Put them all together, and we end up getting 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And I can tell 12 is even because I just counted by 2s, right? That's one thing we've learned. So an odd number plus an odd number is once again an even number. That means every time we're adding an odd number to an odd number, the sum is even. Wow, pretty interesting stuff. Now, this whole time, we've been looking at kind of small numbers, right? But what happens when we add two bigger numbers together, okay? So let's try an even plus an even. Let's try 12 plus 16. Those are two even numbers, okay? 2 plus 6 is 8. 1 plus 1 is 2 in the tens place. I got 28. So when I added this even 12 plus 16, which is even, was my sum even or odd? Let's test by counting to 28 by twos. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28. Yep, I could count to 28 by twos, so it sure is even. So it looks like our test, when we add an even to an even, is going to be even, whether or not it's a small number or a big number. Pretty cool. Let's test our even plus an odd on a big number. So let's think of another even number. Let's do 16 plus a bigger odd number. Maybe we could do 19. Let's add these together. 6 plus 9 is 15. Leave a 5 in the ones. Carry my 1 over to the tens. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3 tens. So I had an even number plus 19 was an odd number. And what did my sum end up being? Well, let's try to count to 35 by twos. If we can count to 35 by twos, then it's even. If we cannot count to 35 by twos, it's odd. Let's try. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36. Oh, I just went right by. I was not able to count to 35 by twos. So an even plus an odd ended up being odd again. So even plus an odd is odd with small numbers or big numbers. Let's do our very last test, friends. We're going to be doing an odd plus an odd. So let's try 15 plus 13. Two bigger numbers that are both odd. We are adding two odd numbers together. 5 plus 3 is 8. 1 plus 1 is 2 tens. All right, so we just added two odd numbers together. What did we end up getting? Let's try counting to 28 by twos. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28. We were able to count to 28 by twos, so it is an even number. So again, even with big numbers, an odd plus an odd will always be an even. All right, friends, I hope you had fun exploring even and odd numbers to me. Remember these facts: an even plus an even is an even. An even plus an odd is an odd. An odd plus an odd is an even. And have fun trying out this theory on your problem set today. Go ahead and grab out your math workbook and work on Module 6, Lesson 20. Have fun, second graders. Bye-bye.